Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Radical Broccoli podcast.
Hello, hello.
Hello YouTube.
So good to be here. Cheers from a collagen booster dirty chai latte. Nothing fancy. Little pick me up. That was today's. When you ask, you look into the cabinet and you ask your body what it needs, inspired by your story.
Yeah.
This was the one that I needed.
Why do you think?
I think it's because of all the nice spices and herbs in there.
Yeah.
It's like cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg. It's kind of Christmassy. And I'm feeling a little bit something in my chest, so I think it's helping.
Boost for the immune system.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to think about how even tiny little herbs and spices have an effect on our body. Like little medicine.
Yeah.
And we forget.
We do.
So cheers.
Cheers. So today we asked you guys what you wanted us to focus on for one of the last episodes of 2024.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of really great questions and topics, but there was one big one that got asked a lot of times, and that was how to deal with family gatherings during Christmas where people trigger you, or generally like how to deal with difficult family relationships, especially during the holidays.
Yeah.
But we also got a lot of other really nice questions that we will dive into. How to deal with setbacks. Your biggest learnings from 2024.
Oh gosh, that's a huge question.
How to deal with the pressure in your 30s to attract love, a partner in your life. How will you celebrate Christmas? What kind of personal... what is it called? Self-work are you guys working on these days? And then there's some fun ones like how does your life look in 10 years? Yeah, and so on. But anyways, these are the topics we will dive into today. So I hope you're ready for a new episode with us. And I'm sorry my nose is a little blocked, but I hope my voice will carry through.
Yeah, I think people can understand that there are some bugs going around.
Yeah.
And if I'm coughing, then also excuse. But we're here.
We're working on our body's natural immunoglobulin production by being grateful every morning. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so it's mid-December and most people are getting ready. If they celebrate Christmas, they will celebrate Christmas soon.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, 1.5.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so soon.
Yeah. And for a lot of people, this whole season, and I think especially like Christmas and New Year's, can be very triggering and very emotional. And it's a time where you often come together with family. Yeah. Often even for many days, if you, for example, celebrate in the cabin or something like that. And maybe you meet, or you spend a lot of time with your parents and you just find it so triggering.
Yes. Sorry.
How do you...
Totally neutral, yes.
How do you deal with all of that? Where do you even begin?
The first big word that comes to my mind is expectations. Because Christmas, New Year's, holidays is full of expectations.
Yeah.
And that, as we have talked about before, is where we set ourselves up to succeed or to feel miserable. We can set our expectations sky high. And we often do this in the holiday season. Because, of course, we romanticize it all. We look at the movies and it's so cozy and it's so like nice and warm and snuggly. And we just have these really high hopes for the whole season. Forgetting maybe that the reality of our family dynamics is isn't great, or last year something happened and it always happens, or there's something ongoing, and then suddenly we have the expectation that this year everything's going to be super easy.
But what about, you know, like you say, for example, when it comes to manifesting, you always envision like the best possible outcome and all of this. Where does that go in with expectations in?
It's a very fine balance, but I think the first place I would go was to check in with the expectations, because they are kind of subconscious, I would even say. They're just lying there in the back of our mind. And that is often what brings so much tension into a family dynamic. When you meet at the cabin, everyone's stressed and everyone has expectations, and like not just expectations of how you're going to feel, but of how other people are going to behave, what they're going to do for you, what you're going to do for them. It's a whole kind of puzzle piece that comes together, and it's all unsaid.
So it's kind of expectations, but not healthy. Not healthy ones that can trip people over.
Exactly. It could be invisible. It could be non-communicated. So what I would do, step 1, check in with yourself and your expectations for the whole season. Meaning, what do you think and expect that you're going to feel like? What is going to happen? How is it going to be? And if you haven't made any changes from last year, for example, or nobody else has either, maybe don't expect everything to be different this year. And then, step 2, communicate the expectations. This is something that we have finally, as a family, learned to do before we meet, before we go on holidays, before we have family visiting or visit family. We have a chat. We say, hey, let's have a half an hour talk about our expectations this time. And it's such a nice way to lay the ground. Like, what's everyone feeling? What are they needing? And then you would also get a feeling of, okay, she's really exhausted this year. I need to maybe lay a bit low and thinking that we're going to go skiing together every day. That could be a cause of huge disappointment, right?
That's so true.
Or if your mom is like, oh, I'm so excited to bake 7 different types of baking things with you. And this year you're like, no, I have this plan of doing my manifestation course during the Christmas. So tell your mom that, and she won't expect you to be baking with her all of those days. But maybe you could say like, okay, when I'm done, I'll taste and we'll have these snacks together. It's these little things that can make the biggest difference.
That's so true.
And it's such a good practice of communication overall, and communication in relationships that you have close can sometimes be harder than communicating with someone you don't know. Because you're not used to it. And someone needs to be the brave one to ask to have that conversation, to take the lead, to be the one who says like, this year I would love for us to have better communication, to prepare ourselves to have a better family time together. Because everyone wants that, right? Nobody wants to be arguing over Christmas. And then, from what comes up there, it could be triggering things, it could be really nice things, it could give you such an ease afterwards, or maybe you could feel disappointed. Then you can go home, back to yourself, and process whatever came up then. That's what you do, the inner work to prepare yourself, so that you're not a ticking bomb when you enter that cabin. Because sometimes we are, and we don't want to admit it. And from there, processing that, then we can start laying the, I want to manifest it feeling this way. But don't put your manifestations on other people.
That's a big clue. What does that mean?
It means don't try and manifest your dad to be a changed man. Right? Everything starts with you. You do your own work. You keep your side of the street tidy, clean, organized, processed. And then you enter into life and you're able to handle whatever the shit's going on.
True. So let's say that you're going to Christmas dinner and you have this uncle who always is so brutally honest, and you're feeling very vulnerable this year. Maybe you just got out of a relationship, or you just launched a new business and you still haven't found your confidence in your new role, or whatever I'm going to call it. And you know that you're going to go there, and you have this uncle who always pokes straight into everybody's biggest wound, and maybe he doesn't even know it. So how do you prepare? How do you prepare for that? Do you still go?
Well, there's an option, of course, of not going. And that would be a boundary that you could set for yourself. If you feel like I'm so raw right now and this isn't just not what I want to put myself into. The other option would be actually to look at that situation as your own shadow work. Because whatever wounds you, hurts you when someone says it, comments it, it's your own wound. It's your own shadow. It's your own hurt. It has not much to do with the uncle, right? He's probably curious, maybe his own stuff. But the way that we react to something says everything about what's going on inside of us in the depth. And so you could almost kind of predict what stuff is going to hurt you. For example, if you're at a certain age and you feel pressure to be in a relationship, to have kids, to have the job, blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff that some people have kind of internalized the conditions from society. Then that's your shadow.
And what does our shadow tell us? Like, for example, if I get hurt by someone saying something, what does that say about me?
It shows you where you are not fully integrated with your own pain, your own shame, your own guilt, your own wound and trauma from childhood. So let's take this example of kind of doing the perfect things at the perfect time in life. It could be many things. Could be a perfectionism pattern. And let's say that it is that. And then we could go back to childhood and look at how we were given love as a child. Was it always if we tidied our room and we did the good on the test and we dressed ourselves quickly and if we were always the good girl or good boy, is that when we were praised and loved? That could kind of invisibly create this pattern of perfectionism in trade of love. And then in grown-up age, it could show up as this. It could be so many different things, but this is how we work when we work with our clients to find the source of the initial pain, shame, guilt that has been suppressed into our bodies. And that's where it creates the so-called shadow, because we can't see it. But integrating the shadow and putting it into the light is what makes us feel more whole. And that feeling of wholeness is also a feeling of, I can handle it.
And that's pretty cool, because let's say you sit at the dinner table and your uncle's like, so you're 33 and you're single. Doesn't that worry you? Have you frozen your eggs?
And that could be a bomb, right?
It could be. So basically it means you have two options. Either you like die of shame and you just get depressed for 3 weeks and you numb yourself and watch Netflix, then go down a horrible spiral. Or you can look at it and be like, okay, he's actually poking at something, and if I heal this, I have no idea how, but I know I can get help to do it. It means that I will start feeling love in this little black hole within me. And the cool thing is that when you feel love right there, that's when you will attract a partner.
Exactly. If that's what you want to have.
Or
you will find out that, my authentic life path is to not become a parent. Or is it to be single right now? Or is to freeze my eggs and to get IVF and to be a mom. Without finding the perfect partner or finding the perfect partner. It's all of these options.
But you can choose from a very neutral, not like a lack, but from a place of just, fuck, I have all the choices.
And oh my God, it's giving me goosebumps, the importance of this, because choosing from our wounds can create a life that we are so miserable in. And it will take decades to get pick apart. But going there and healing the wounds now will make you choose from love, the highest version of yourself. And creating from there.
That's so true. So when you say like choosing from your wounds, can you make an example of that?
A lot of examples will typically be career comes to mind. A lot of us, I say us because we've done this, both of us, will choose first studies and then a career that subconsciously we choose in order to impress. First and foremost, our parents, because that is the conditioning that we have from childhood, like our caretakers. They are the most important ones for us to feel love and protection and acceptance from as a child. So subconsciously we'll always take these choices to try and make them happy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very explicit. In some families, it's like the expectation of the family is that you inherit the family company and then you need to have this degree. Or other times, it's just never talked about.
Yeah.
But it's the feeling of shame if you do anything other than this.
Yeah. Or in many cases, you literally hear, like, you have option to be a doctor or lawyer or a failure. Like,
yeah, or I'll cut you off the inheritance.
Yeah.
And then you get to choose. Then you get to see from there. You will know if it's your dream job, if it's your way, if it's your authentic life path. Because you will feel lit up by it. You will feel energized. You will love it. It would not always be easy. It will be challenging. It will be fun, but you will know. We always know deep in our soul. And if not, we know that we are day in and day out doing things that's not authentic for us. And every single day, it takes a little bit of our life force.
Okay, so that's a really cool way of going back to this uncle.
Yeah, this is so much deeper than you would think.
Of looking at...
Excuse me.
That's a new way of looking at our wounds and sort of... And sometimes I'm like... I also think about how can we take everything less serious? Just have a little humor.
Oh, it's so big.
Laugh about it. And just, I mean, there's people who are 60 and stressed. There's people who are 19 and stressed. I mean, everybody's so stressed with being in a certain place at a certain time, but it's all just a big illusion.
Such an illusion.
And you can quantum leap and you can create here and there. Like, it's not all... It's not supposed... Like, how boring to just follow a freaking timeline and that's it?
Yeah.
Is that why we're here?
No, there's so much more to life. And the thing is that the spirit world, the invisible world, is so much more humoristic and light.
Yeah.
And then down here on earth, in the density of everything, in the seriousness, we tend sometimes to forget.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be light, it's supposed to be easy, it's supposed to be joyful. It's supposed to give us energy. And that's when you know that you're in here.
Yeah.
And that's also the places where you will give the most of your gifts to the world.
Yeah.
And it's perfect design.
It is. So one of the things I think many people can feel during the holidays is loneliness. And that's whether you are in a relationship, if you are alone, if you are...
the odd one out.
The odd one out.
That's very, very common.
So how do you handle loneliness? And is it actually a thing?
I would again look at it as another wound, and it's a painful one because is it one that is wrapped around a lot of shame?
Yeah.
Because it's looked upon in society as shameful, being lonely, right? You're supposed to have that friend group. You're supposed to have a good relationship with your family.
Not only shameful, they're like, science shows that if you're lonely, it's more dangerous than smoking. You can die.
Yeah. Yeah. And that can make loneliness feel even more heavy to carry. And of course, I don't wish upon anyone to be lonely.
No.
And I know and I think also that it's really important with relationships. But I think loneliness can often also be a symptom of like not living out your authentic self again, because you are trying to fit in a group that you don't. And not just that you don't fit in, but you're not meant to fit in there.
Yeah.
You're supposed to find your tribe, your soul people. Again, they light you up, they energize you, they inspire you, they give to you and you give to them in a very nice, balanced relationship.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to find always.
No.
And it's definitely, I think it's a life journey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have felt lonely many times.
Yeah, same.
And it's come in waves, in a way. I would say often it comes sort of as a surprise. Whoa, I had such a good period and now suddenly I'm in this little curve of loneliness.
Yeah.
But for me, loneliness is more a lack of connection with me and lack of a connection with the universe.
Yeah.
It's almost that I feel that I'm in a black hole all alone, and I'm trying to say, hello universe, are you there? Can you help me? And I just feel like nobody's listening. So I believe that loneliness is framed in one way by the society. And if you are single or if you're living alone, you're supposed to be lonely. You know, it's like, that's how it is.
Yeah, but that's how every movie is. That's how we're conditioned. Everything that we've ever seen and heard about it.
That's why you have to hurry so much to find a partner.
Or else you will be... The loneliness is ticking the clock.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's just such a weird concept. But the way I see it is that I get that feeling when I'm not in a good place with me. And when I'm not in trust at all.
Yeah.
And also, you know, when I'm not in a good place in my life, I isolate myself. And that means I, of course, lack connection. So it is, of course, something that happens. And I am a very social human. So it's not the best. But I'm trying to remember, what do I do to get out of it?
Yeah, I know that my own tendency, I know what it would be.
Yeah.
It would be to go, for example, on social media. Or
that's what you do.
Look at things.
And compare.
Yeah, because you're just trying to connect. And then your brain is like, connect? Oh, easy way. I'll just show you Instagram. You'll just look at these people and you'll feel connected.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, I feel so much more lonely or so much more left out. And then you remember like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to connect inwards with me and then in the real world with physical people.
Yeah.
And that's going to make...
And I do feel that sometimes all you really need is to reach out to one person. Yeah. And then they can reflect back to you that you are just really lowering yourself right now.
And it's such a bold thing to tell your friend, like, hey, I'm feeling a bit lonely right now.
Yeah, super vulnerable.
Yeah. And I can feel lonely even if I live together with my family, I have lots of friends, I have lots of people around. Like it's been a while now, but sometimes that just a feeling that creeps in. And I'm not good at telling that to my friends, for example.
No.
But I think that I am pretty good at knowing that, okay, first step now is connecting with myself. Yeah. Looking a bit deeper again, where does this loneliness come from? It could be a triggering situation that is, again, from childhood. Sometime you were left out, somebody called you a kind of a name. And that socialization process that goes on when we're young. There's a lot of stuff that happens that we tend to just brush off when we're grown up and think that it's not important. But then it could be the source of our whole feeling of loneliness as we grow up.
Wow.
So, and it happens so much with... I don't know so much about being a boy, right? But I know girl groups growing up, they tend to form and reform, and then someone's left out. Next week, someone else is left out. Yeah. And I was a part of that, and I feel really horrible thinking about that now.
Yeah.
But, I think Christmas will illuminate this feeling.
I was really sad last week. I think there was a lot of things happening at the same time, but I was just... lighting the advent candle.
Yeah.
And suddenly I just couldn't hold back the tears. I was just joking and be like, så tänder vi ett lys ikväll. But it made me so sad. And I felt, because Christmas is really, there's so many emotions. Yeah. It's like so many childhood memories, and then you think about people who died, and then you think about those who are not there, and then maybe... I think it's just that it puts so much pressure on where everything is right now. Yeah. And it is a very scary time, because the whole society in Western world stops up and gives you a moment to reflect. Yeah. And we're not used to that. No. So it's super scary. And then, of course, on top of that, there's all of these sad songs. And just, I don't know, it's something so...
It's very nostalgic.
Very nostalgic. Yeah. So it's with great compassion. Like, I also feel a lot during Christmas.
Yeah, for sure.
But usually I feel it before, and then it passes.
But it's also... Yeah, I've also felt that feeling in the morning, like the first Sunday of Advent, the second Sunday of Advent, and I put on these songs. like we've been waking up really early with Luca, and we've been watching Norwegian Christmas songs on TV.
Yeah.
And there's the depth of that nostalgia that's inside of my body. It's just unreal. I'm getting all the childhood memories at once.
Yeah.
And I think it's highlighted by the fact that we're not going to celebrate family with Christmas. Celebrate Christmas with family this year.
Yeah.
We're not even sure what we're doing for Christmas, honestly.
No.
And it's 12 days away.
Yeah.
And yeah, we live in different parts of the world from our family.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes it a bit...
And I think also when you have kids, you just really want to create good new memories with them.
Yeah.
For me, having Rafe, now it's the second Christmas with him, but that's been the biggest blessing ever. It's made all family gatherings and really my whole relationship with my family's so much better.
Yeah,
like it's changed everything for the better.
Yeah, I'm suddenly liking like Halloween is fun, Christmas is fun,
and I'm looking so much forward to family dinners, family things, family vacations.
Yeah,
everything just changed, and it has become like seeing, for example, my Rafe connect with other parts of the family. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Get
a
crazy.
kid, it will fix it. No, just kidding.
The easy fix is definitely not the easy fix.
No, that's the hard fix. But for me, I don't know. It shifted super, and I think it's because I landed in myself, basically.
Yeah,
I just landed. And
you also don't get so self-absorbed.
Yeah,
you can put the attention to someone else.
True.
And that innately just feels good for us.
Yeah. Just to wrap up Christmas, what are your best tips? Because I feel that we need something concrete to hold on to, because some of these situations can be super triggering. I mean, for some, they come from families where you're grown up with an alcoholic mom or dad, and then in Christmas, to see them drink, or I mean, or you don't celebrate with your parents because they're not able to be there. I mean, there's everything just gets really highlighted.
For sure.
So what's your best tips?
Yeah, my best tips is to take a little time for yourself beforehand. Like I know a lot of people are working a lot and kind of wrapping up everything and just running around with Christmas presents and everything before Christmas, but take some moments for yourself where you can feel these things.
Yeah.
Go there. Go. This is what we do. This is what I do with myself, with all of my clients. We go with our relationship. We go to the hard places. That's where the healing is. That's where we don't want to go. That's why we try to keep busy.
Yeah.
It can be lighting a few candles, sitting down with your journal, holding a hand on your heart, asking yourself, what feels heavy for me? What emotions are here? Journal a bit about it. Put on some music. I can almost promise you that some feelings will come up. When they come up and out, you will feel so much lighter.
Yeah.
Secondly, expectation management. Both a little inventory check for yourself and also a conversation with your family.
Yeah.
Thirdly, being a person who wants to give to others because you have something extra to give.
Yeah.
That feels really, really good in Christmas.
Yeah.
And it can actually fill up part of that wounded space in your heart.
Yeah. Because, I think one thing to think about is that everyone around that table has the same feeling. They also are triggered, and they also have their stuff they want to hide and their sides.
Sure.
And maybe sometimes when someone seems extra, maybe braggy, or you almost feel it's too much, it's because they really want to hide that side of the pain. So
exactly.
Maybe one of the things that's possible is to show up, as you said, thinking, how can I help my mom out a bit more this year, even though she always nags at me, like, okay, but how
she's always so stressed, like, okay, maybe tell her that she doesn't have to do 100,000 things.
Yeah, without expectations to change her.
Yeah.
And maybe you're always thinking, like, my dad is so emotionally unavailable. Okay, give him a hug.
Exactly.
Tell him you love him, even if it's uncomfortable for him and you. Maybe that's something you can do.
Go to the hard places. Go there. Even have the difficult conversations. be open, bring up your authentic self into conversations with people who you wouldn't expect to have any openness with.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying just be super vulnerable where it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
But feel into like...
Get drunk at Christmas dinner.
Just get inappropriately drunk and just be really open with all your wounds.
And shame everybody around the table.
Yeah, because they haven't worked on themselves.
That's the best advice we've ever given in this podcast.
It's basically the same as we always say. Open heart, good boundaries.
Yeah. And lastly...
responsibility on your side.
Lastly, one of the... As you just said, one of the most best medicines against shame is sharing. So if it's something you just feel so shameful about, share it with someone you trust.
Yeah.
And then boom, that's it.
It needs to be shared in a space where you feel loved and safe. It doesn't help just sharing it. And then you feel unsafe because it's going to multiply.
Yeah.
But it's so important.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that was helpful. We'll give you an update how it goes after Christmas.
Yeah, we're like...
Scratch that.
Yeah. No. Okay.
No, we know this works. We've done it.
Yes.
We've seen.
So we'll take a couple of more questions.
Yeah.
How to deal with setbacks, injury holding you back, jealousy because others get to do it.
Okay. Setback. Well, first of all, that's how you choose to see it. Everything is shaped by our perception.
That's so true.
That's the first thing that came to me.
That's really all you need to say.
Yeah, next question. No, kidding. No, so much compassion and love for you because that's so hard. And I have been sick sometimes. Like 2 years ago, had lung infection and it was quite bad. And I was first in that mindset of like, why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. It's a setback and it's like destroying my life. I can't do this, I can't do that. Everyone's out having fun. So I know that feeling, and it's never you can't ever compare something, an injury to another or situation. But I know that it was more painful for me to be there in my mindset until I softened, I let go, I shifted. And I just said, you know what? This is happening in my life right now. Sometime I will have a good lesson from it, learning from it. Maybe not. Maybe I'll never know why this is happening. But I'm going to rest. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to spend this time getting so cozy, so relaxed, treating myself so amazing that I'm going to recover. And it's my time. It's my time to take a break, and the universe has decided. And then I got well after quite a few more weeks, but it was way easier to heal from there.
Yes. Yeah, and I think a lot of that's also a situation for some of the people I'm working one-on-one with. And I always remind them, you know, you're not going back. It's always like, I want to get back. I want to get back on this, back on that. And I'm like, no, you're not going back.
No, we're constantly creating another version of ourselves. And maybe in let's call it a setback, as she or he is saying, maybe that's what's happening for you on a bigger level, but you're not seeing it. Maybe you're never willing to take a break. Maybe you're never willing to make the actual changes. Maybe this is your universe swooping in with opening up your eyes so that you can maybe slow down and see things differently and finally make that change that you want to make.
Yeah. And what about jealousy? For example, if you're feeling like you're missing out, or you're, let's say you see others advancing in the same field as you, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Use it as the best fuel ever to fucking go back in your lane and create for you. Like, don't waste your energy looking outwards all the time. It's such a drain. And we can spend so much time there. And all that time could be used to create. And I'm not saying all the time taking the actions and stuff, but visualize, meditate, focus on you, heal your stuff. Get back in your lane. And also use what you're jealous of as your goals, because that's what you want, but you don't believe that you can have it. And that's shadow work again.
Yeah.
Going back, going in. Where do I feel blocked? Why do I feel like I can't create that?
I actually felt jealous the other day because I saw someone who manifested something that I had been dreaming about probably the last 10 years. I was like, oh, man, that hurts.
Yeah.
And I never feel like jealous, but I really felt, or I don't know if it's envy or jealous. Anyways, I really felt, wow, why is that not me? Or kind of feeling.
And what did you discover?
No, first I got a little angry with myself because I was thinking, if I just stayed true and honest to my real vision, that would have happened, 6 years ago.
Oh, so you went into kind of self-punishment?
Yeah.
So that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's harder.
And so I really had to just let it go and just really ask myself, can I forgive myself for the choices that I made? And I think I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
And then, it's about learning to realign your vision and your focus, and things can happen so fast when you just are in the right space.
100%.
And it also made me realize what is it that's really important to me.
Yeah.
And then I don't spend so much time on other things. But I'm still working on, I think I'm still really hard on myself for not accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
And for being hard on myself for the choices that I made. So that's something I really am trying to find ways to work on. And
I had
not there yet.
No, I know that feeling really well. And I did a one-to-one session, like not with a client, but I was the client.
Yeah.
With a woman called River. She does RRT. And the whole session, the source ended up being realizing that with the information that I had at the time and the person I was at the time, I would never make a different choice. And I couldn't understand that at first. I was like, no, but I could have made another choice. But no, you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You knew what you knew at the time. You felt what you felt at the time. And that's what made you make the choice.
Yeah.
And realizing that in depth made me feel so much more compassionate for myself.
That's so true.
And understanding that this was my path.
Yeah.
Exactly this.
And I feel like sometimes you always see the puzzle pieces when you go backwards in a way.
Oh, for sure.
So sometimes you just, maybe in 10 years I'll be like, oh, that's why, that's why.
Yeah.
And right now I cannot see that. That's why it's hard. But I guess it also comes back to trust.
Yeah. Do you trust fully, deeply that the universe will bring what's meant for you?
I think what you just said in the beginning of this question about the setback, it's the feeling that they can do it, but I can't. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not capable enough. I'm not manifesting enough.
Yeah. So this is shadow work again.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's more about where am I still lacking self-confidence there?
And self-love.
And self-love.
And trust.
And yeah. So this thing is a great mirror for me where I need to work. And that's how I'm going to use it.
Yeah, and that's how jealousy has a powerful function. And I got jealous yesterday. We were talking about something with money. And a situation where it felt really unfair, where someone else was making a lot of money and it felt really easy, sounded really easy. And it feels like the opposite for me. And already today I can see that I wanted to go into the wounded person and keep my head low and kind of kick myself.
Yeah.
And today I'm feeling more of that. Okay, let's fuel that shit into the rocket and just go, because I know that it's possible for me as well.
Yeah, but you are already doing it.
I know, but I can't.
But you have to open your eyes and see it.
Yeah, It's taking me so long to realize.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
That's crazy.
You're crazy. Okay, next.
That's my answer.
Thank you.
You're crazy. You're doomed. Okay. Manifesting a partner. Manifesting a partner. Dates feel really uncomfortable. Well, I have not manifested a partner, dream partner, so I feel like I cannot answer that with full embodiment.
I remember dating is very uncomfortable. Not with my current partner, but I think...
I hated dating him.
Yeah, it was so awkward. No, but I definitely dated my fair share of guys who it was just so uncomfortable and strange.
Yeah.
And you're just not yourself, and they're not themselves, and everyone's trying to...
I feel like it's uncomfortable when it's forced.
Yeah.
When it's like you date because that's the thing you have to do.
Yeah, and you're in a setting that you don't like. Like, I don't really like to go out for dinner with someone that I don't know.
No. It's like my dad. It's a numbers game. If you don't expose yourself to X, Y, Z, blah, 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 then you can't. So you have to go on so and so many dates until you can attract.
Yeah.
But he also believes in like arranged marriage and... Let's not go there. Anyways.
Yeah, anyways. I believe that there's another way.
Yeah.
And there's a way of following, again, the way, the person that you are.
Yeah.
And I believe that the more you do the things that you love, the more you are in your zone, in your hobbies, then that is a more magnetic place to meet a partner. And maybe a way more natural way than being like scrolling, clicking on the button, meeting at a restaurant, doing something that you don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
But if you love that, then go for it.
I can 100% say it's all about your energy.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever we've done these Sofia Sundari courses, for example...
It's crazy what's happened.
It's like... It's crazy. And that tells me because you're the same, you look the same as you did right before the course, and you haven't changed, you know, you didn't go out and get silicone boobs and blah, blah, blah.
And didn't even go out on apps or on dating.
Didn't even go out. And then, but it's like people start knocking on your door because of your energy.
Yeah, it's true. And I remember right before I met my current partner, I had the biggest grief of my ex-boyfriend before my ex-boyfriend. Does that make sense?
No.
Like, I had an ex-boyfriend and then I had one before that.
Yeah.
The one before was the one that came up. That needed a last little bit of healing.
Yeah.
Let's say it was my first true serious relationship.
Yeah.
And I was so wounded. It took me years to recover. And when I thought I had recovered, I even had another boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I processed that and let go of that. And then that old one came up again.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the last little things that needed to be burned.
Yeah.
And it was a trigger that came up and lots of tears and emotions. And then I felt suddenly like, whoa, I don't care about that anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best feeling when someone who's bothered you so much, suddenly you don't care.
Yeah, I'm like...
It's so weird.
Okay, have a great life.
Yeah, it's like, it's so funny because, you know, sometimes you think, I can't live without that guy. And then suddenly you change and you shift and you look at a photo of that guy and years later you're like, what the was I thinking?
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to come to a neutral place where I'm not like, oh, that was gross, or...
No,
then you're
but it's
shaming.
more, you laugh of yourself.
Yeah. And right after that, I met my current partner and felt kind of like it was cleared.
Yeah.
So I'm not carrying all of my baggage.
3 suitcases.
No, but it was spiritual work, it was energetic work, emotional work, and I think it's so important to do it on all levels.
Yeah.
Even physically, like how the impact that we have on our bodies through being intimate, through relationships. It's so much that we can't see, these hooks, energetic hooks.
Yeah.
And unhooking and clearing out.
Yeah.
And letting go of the old.
I just really trust myself. I don't push before I'm ready.
No.
I'm just know like when I'm ready.
The divine timeline.
And then I'm ready.
Yeah, and that's such a powerful skill and great place to be, because the desperation energy, I totally understand, but it's not so nice in dating.
No, having a boyfriend will not fix your life. It will just make a mirror to everything you already have.
Yeah. And that being said, there's a lot that you can beautifully work out when you're also in the container.
Yeah.
But don't think that a person will fix stuff. Like, you won't suddenly feel, maybe, but not necessarily will feel totally healed about the thing that your ex hurt you when you meet a new partner. You can still carry that in, and maybe you can even like project it onto your new partner.
Yeah.
So it's always it's about radical honesty with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when I feel like when you feel really love for yourself, and when you feel like you have this just let's say you walk around and you just feel fuzzy in love, like already being in love. That's when I feel like, okay, go out, have fun, do something a little outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's important too.
Ask your friend if they have any guys they know you think you can set them up with.
It's not going to be comfortable all the way. You have to go out of your zone.
And then laugh, you have to, maybe sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
again, the seriousness aspect.
Yeah.
Put away.
Yeah. Make it a little more fun. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm so excited to have family and all of this, but I'm also maybe I'm actually too comfortable.
Yeah.
But I know I'm still working on a lot from my last relationship.
Yeah.
That was very, very, gave me a lot to work on. And but I think the most important thing is to come from a place of, just already just feeling funny and feeling in love
and self-worth, we have to mention, because that's the foundation for it all.
So my best dating advice, get a life coach.
Yeah, honestly.
Work on your shadow.
Yeah, and know how to heal what's holding you back from stepping into the next level of self-worth, which is all the time where we're manifesting from. The next level, the thing that's going to expand us, the relationship that's like, oh, I need to love myself, I need to grow, I need to know my worth for real, so that I don't shrink and settle for something that's not what I want.
Yeah, for sure.
So knowing your worth in dating will help you guide so much of the process, and it makes it not easier. It's not easy to say no, but makes it easier to navigate.
And last question, I think we will take sort of the same, because it's kind of the same with Christmas dating, blah, blah, but how to deal with the pressure in your 30s to attract love, a partner in your life. And I understand that pressure. That's what Jay Shetty and Joe Dispenza talked about in the podcast. But people get into survival mode. Yeah. Because of this pressure of avoiding loneliness, of creating a family, because of the ticking timeline bomb that you're... So how do you deal with all of that pressure?
Yeah, I have so much compassion for that. And I think that I would feel that a lot if I didn't have a child and a partner right now. I would feel all of the things that this person is feeling. So it's important for us to say that we both have children, and biologically we've, let's say, that box is ticked. Yeah. Because there's not that internal pressure of needing to recreate.
It's more a reality check on what it's like on the other side.
Yeah. And that's a whole other story. But honoring the fact that that is something that's going on. It is there in the background. But then getting quiet with yourself and picking that apart to whether that's yours. Is that a desire for you? What do you authentically want? And what is just society's conditioning? And what is the ticking ovulation clock, right? Yeah. It can be a few different things. It can be different parts of us saying different things. And it's not easy to do that processing all by ourselves. But we can get quite far. But I always believe that we need to work with someone. And that's what I always do when I feel stuck, at least
especially in this
big topics in life.
Yeah.
And from getting to know all these parts and from getting to know your really authentic needs, that's where you can make a choice. That's where you can choose, okay, I want to freeze my eggs. Or maybe you're a guy. Okay, I want to prioritize finding a partner. Yeah. If that's what you want, it needs to be a priority. Also. It needs to be something you set aside time for and you get excited about and you start getting to know what you really want. Yeah. And holding so much space for yourself in the time that it is, because it can be very lonely if all of your friends have starting to get families and kids. Yeah. But doing it on your timeline and doing it authentically for you is incomparable to just looking around and seeing that people just do it because it's time. Yeah. And that's when it's going to last for so long, right?
Yeah, give it 10 years max.
And that's okay, even if you do make a choice. Now, if you're listening and you know that you have made that choice because you were just rushing it, it's okay. Again, we can do hard things. We can go through hard things. We can come out on the other side and make another choice.
Yeah. So I think for me, I usually like to use this kind of desperation in a good way. For me, for example, when I worked in the military and the second year, I was so much sick that nothing was worth it. So selling everything, quitting everything, and getting the hell out of a place that I didn't want to be, it became easy because that desperation of just wanting to be healthy again was so big. Yeah. So it was the biggest gift of my life. So use it.
Yeah, use it as fuel when it's harder to stay the same than to change. Yeah. Then change. Yeah. Do it. And know that you can do it. Know that you are capable of transforming everything in your life.
Yeah. Really anything.
And know that you have the freedom to do what you want. The limitations are inside of us. Yeah. And we know because we have so many of them because we're human. Yeah. And that's the journey.
Yeah. I think every day I have to sort of check in with my own. I often get into a negative vibe and I say that things are not possible. But that's why my last tip for today is be so incredibly cautious about who and what you surround yourself with. I don't follow doomsday accounts. I don't follow gossip accounts. I only follow positive inspiration accounts. So literally for me going into Instagram, it's someone saying like, you're the best.
Yeah. You can do it. Like everything is conspiring in your favor right now.
Yeah, there's only positivity.
On your screen right here is you are in a maze of love.
That's my astrology for today.
Exactly.
And it's just so fun because I can be in a bad mood, but my surroundings reflect back to me. You know, it's like you're just a quantum leap away from, blah, blah, blah. So really be so picky about what and who you surround yourself with.
And be picky with the thoughts that you keep on thinking day in and day out. Yeah. That's also a choice that we make. Oh, am I in the funk? I'm going to stay in the funk. I'm going to do something about it. Yeah. Change the funk. Go training. Change your vibration. Dance. Journal. Cry. Meditate. Something that you know shifts your vibe. Yeah. It makes you feel more connected, more love.
Get help.
Yeah, and honestly, the other day I was in funky mood and I did 24 minutes of meditation. Yeah. I woke up.
24.
Woke up as another person. Yeah. From thinking that, it's so like I couldn't even enjoy the sunshine. Yeah. I was like, it's too bright. People are looking at me funny today. I was so grumpy. Yeah. And then I opened my eyes after the meditation, thought, wow, it's the most beautiful day. Yeah. I need to go out. I want to na. And then from there on, upward spiral. Yeah. We're allowed also to be grumpy and in a funk, by the way.
Yes.
But if you want to change, then know that you can.
That's contrast. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful Christmas. Remember to say no.
To what? To Christmas?
To anything that you don't want more of.
Yeah.
And yes to everything else. Thank you so much for listening.
You're worth it.